Alright guys, welcome back to another wonderful, exciting episode of Watch Me Wrench. So, I've driven the car maybe 400 or 500 miles. Runs great, no issues, no leaks, no nothing. Well, there's one tiny issue, which is why I'm filming another episode. But these things are to be expected. Well, the car runs great. Starts right up, never stalls, everything works, AC, heat, radio, power windows. So, okay, so why am I filming today? Not even sure, but you know, the motor's making a lot more power now. It's making like, what, 810 horsepower at the flywheel? With more power, you tend to make, hotter exhaust gases, and this is no different here. So what's happening is, my headers are jet hot coated. Even my intermediate pipe is jet hot coated. But even with the coating, there's so much heat being built up that the black, the black plastic wire loom wrap, it's actually melting. If you look right here, see, this one's deformed, and this is, I took a tape measure, this is 10 inches away from the nearest header tube. So from 10 inches away, that's melting. And if you look back, where is it? Sorry, it's actually right there. This is for the oxygen sensor. You can see that that is like completely gone to hell. It's all melting. See that? It's all globbed up down there where it dripped. So, what are we going to do about it? Well, the solution is pretty simple, but it does require a lot of work, which I'm not happy about. Let's go to the bench. So, to resolve that, I bought some DEI products. And I got header wrap. This roll here, I got a 50-foot roll and a 100-foot roll. There's a part number. This is the 50-foot roll. That's that one. And then this is a 100-foot roll. And then I got a whole bunch of straps from them. These they have thin ones, so I got the wider one, so just has a little more contact and less likely that the wrap comes undone. I also bought a little more of these sleeves that I could wrap around some pipes or some wiring. Got that, but this is from Heat Shield Products. This is not from DEI. That's the part number. These are just more straps. So let's talk about this. This is, they have a couple different versions of header wraps out there. Now they have titanium, which is like a gold tan color. Now DEI, that's their best version. Now DEI doesn't sell on their website the titanium in black. However, they do make it. But they sell it on DEI DEI Powersports.com. So they sell it on their website, which is more dedicated for like motorcycles and ATVs, stuff like that. So you can get black titanium header wrap from DEI, but you have to go to DEI Powersports.com to get it. And it's not cheap. I probably spent like, what did I spend? This was like 110, this was like 60 or 70. The straps are like 40 bucks, so you could do the math, it's not cheap. So we got to get the headers out, which is a pain in the ass on this car. So I'm not happy about that. And I really don't have the energy to do this, but I'm going to have to anyway. let's go to the car for a second. Okay, so I have the DEI titanium spark plug boots, and I like how they look. I like the color. Now the reason why I went with black is because I don't think wrapping the headers in this color would look as good, and you'll probably also see more grease or oil or debris, road grime, get on the headers if I use the gold colored wrap. So that's why I went with the black. So I'm going to try to take this header out from the top. I'm on the passenger side. If I take it out from the bottom, I have to disconnect the oil lines that go to the bottom of the oil pan. But in order to do that, I got to drain the oil, and this oil is pretty fresh. It only has 400 or 500 miles on it. And every time I change the oil in this car, it costs $100 because it takes 10 and a half. Well, I only put 10. So I got to get 2 of these, and these are like 45 and change each. So I got to get 2 of those and an oil filter. You do the math, it comes out to $100 just to change the oil. So they say it can't be done, but I'm going to try to take it out from the top. Got to take this cover off, spark plug wires and the spark plugs. Move this out of the way. Disconnect it from the bottom, undo the oxygen sensor connection, and maybe I could pull it out from the top because I don't want to drain that oil. So that's what I have to do. Alright, let me get to it and I'll be back. Wish me luck. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So here is the header on the driver's side. I have it wrapped in the DEI 2-inch black titanium wrap. This is something that takes a lot of planning to get it done right. And this is very, it's made of like fiberglass strands, so it's really itchy, so make sure you wear gloves. I wasn't wearing gloves at first, and then I even put a mask on, because at one point I had the sunlight shining in here and I could see, you know, millions of little fibers floating in the air. So I was basically able to cover all of the tubes. Just one little spot right there, I couldn't get any material in there. Oh, and one spot right there. So, yeah, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and some of them were from DEI, and they kind of started at the bottom and worked their way up. And where you start, the way they tell you to wrap it, you kind of don't need a clamp, but I put one anyway. I'm not going to take a chance. But I think you could start up here. You wrap it the way they tell you to. You wrap it tight, and it kind of locks itself in, and then you wouldn't need to put a clamp up here. So maybe you could start up here instead of starting from the bottom and working your way up. But this is how I got it. You can see I started here. It's nice and tight, and I didn't put a clamp. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But this material, you know, as you're working and as you're flipping the header over and moving it, you know, it'll kind of like get chewed up on you. And I'm sure you guys can see I try to do everything really neat and careful, but the header job has been giving me a real bad hard time. And from the beginning of this video, it was actually a month ago to the day. So I've been working on this for like a month. I've just been so mad because I haven't been able to get there's absolutely no way to get the passenger side header out of the car. There's absolutely no way. Hold on. Now, these are 2-inch American racing headers, 2-inch primaries. So there's a little less room to maneuver. You cannot get them out from the top because these 6-bolt heads have these bosses that protrude out, and it gets hung up there, you know, on the passenger side. I took the starter out, I lowered the cradle. It just will not come out no matter what. If I remember correctly, I originally installed them from the top down, but now it just won't come out. It's just jammed in there. I mean, look at the frame. Look how I scratched up the frame. There's absolutely no way to get it out. Absolutely no way to get it out. I don't want people, you know, bitching or complaining. Oh, you got to... No. I've worked on this so long and hard. You cannot get these 2-inch primary tube headers, long tube headers out from the... You cannot. You could if you, you know, raise the engine up, disconnect the crate. I'm not doing all that. So I'm going to try to wrap the header the best I can from the bottom and then from the top. But you guys have no idea how pissed I am about that. How pissed. I mean, I've actually been defeated, and I've never been defeated by a job. I could keep working at it. I could get it out, but I'm done. The car's been down for a month because of this nonsense. You know, they sell a brace that goes from like this fender to that fender, and then you can suspend the engine and raise it a bit and disconnect. I'm not doing all that. I'm not spending any more money. So, absolute nightmare. And then I was getting a little bit of an exhaust leak on the driver's side. These two weren't sealing. So I took a straight edge, and the header flange was warped a little bit upwards towards the front of the motor. So luckily, American Racing Headers is a local shop. They're only like 15 minutes away from me, so I took it to them. So I took it to American Racing Headers, and they bent it, and I don't know if they put it on a belt sander. I know they bent it, they heated it up and they bent it. You have no idea how mad I am about this whole thing. This should have just taken, you know, 1 or 2 days. I mean, for the car to be laid up for a month. And I've been absolutely disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. I don't even want to do this. I'm so pissed at the car. So, and then I went and I had to get a new set of gaskets. Since we changed the profile, you know, it's not going to have the same sealing profile that it previously did. So the other gasket, let me get the other gasket, hold on. So the other gasket, if you look, you can see it's got like high spots and low spots. Like, look towards where my finger are. You could see that the raised boss is like flat where my finger is, but then you could see it's like it protrudes up high there. So it was getting like squished there, but not squished there. So it was getting compressed by my fingers, but it wasn't getting compressed over there. And I cleaned this up, but right here it had a big leak. And where was it? Over here. Somewhere on this side it had a big leak too. And this one had a little bit up top, right there. But I cleaned them thinking I was going to reuse them, but after I examine them and I see actually how they were sealing. So how did I know I had an exhaust leak? Because I would hear a little bit of a tick, 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 tick. And, you know, I increased the torque. You can't torque the header bolts too much. So I increased the torque from like 20 foot-pounds to 22, then I went up to 25. And then I even put some bigger washers underneath the header bolts, so it would give it more of a bite to the flange and, you know, push more of the flange into the head. But it always still had a tiny little tick. And that didn't happen at first. That happened maybe like after driving the car for a week. Then the exhaust gasket tick started happening. So I'm going to put this one in with a new SCE copper gasket. And then I will try to wrap up the one on the passenger side. So hopefully this job will be done today. When I work on this car and I get pissed off, I walk away. Because, you know, I have so much money into the car. This one will go in today for sure. I don't know about the passenger side, but... And how do you check if your header flange is bent or not? Just take a straight edge and lay it across. Okay, so we're underneath the car. Boom, there it is. Header wrap from hell is done. Wow, this took a lot of time, a lot of work. So there it is. Of course, it came out flawlessly. I wrapped this with the header in the car hanging down. I think there was only like one little section of header pipe that I couldn't reach, but I don't care at this point. I'm just glad it's over with. I put some, I added some more of that thermal wrap, some different spots. Up there you could see some. So this is the driver's side, this is the passenger side. It was a lot of work, wow. And again, I couldn't get the header out without having to probably lower the cradle, raise the engine. I mean, dropping the cradle and raising there was just no way. With those new heads and with those bosses that stick out, I couldn't get the header on the right angle to pull it out. It wasn't coming out. So please don't get into an argument with me or insult me or send me emails. Send me messages stating I did this wrong or did that. I tried for weeks and days and hours, but it's done. Let's go up top. Alright, so there it is. I got just about everything wrapped. I don't know if you can see it. Just one little piece down in there I couldn't get, but no big deal. And this is the passenger side. You know, me wrapping these headers, and the more I think about it, this was just me being neurotic. That plastic looms, the few plastic looms that had melted, that most likely happened the day of the dyno testing, because there's not enough airflow around the car or going through the motor. So it probably just got really hot. But I don't think it was absolutely necessary. But something like this doesn't hurt, and you know, cooling down the temperatures under the hood can only help the motor out. And plus, if you've ever ridden in one of these cars, if you know these cars well, it gets really hot in the inside the interior of these cars, and this helped out a lot. Now the only thing the color kind of changed. It's almost like turning from black to a little bit goldish on their header wrap, but oh well. But it looks good. I'm happy with the way it came out. Let's go to the other side. So there you can see it. This side came out perfect. I was able to get everything. It looks really good. I like how it looks. Very happy. And I'm happy with the way it performs. And I had that little bit of exhaust leak on this side because the header flange was actually a little bit warped. But the header manufacturer took care of that for me. And there is 0 exhaust leaks now. No little annoying ticking sound. That was really annoying. So the car is done. This project from hell is done, and I'm so happy. It's actually discouraged me from working on the car. It was such an ordeal to get it done. But that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. And if you liked the video, please click the like and subscribe button. If you got anything negative to say, keep it to yourself. But fortunately, I very rarely get a negative comment. So thank you for those who support and those who watch. I appreciate it, and keep an eye out for my next videos. Thank you guys. See you soon.